100% true as far as I can remember, but you have to watch to the end to get the real gist of it, okay? Because it's really special. And I'm a little hesitant to even share it because people give me a lot of pain on here about my relationship with God and Jesus. Jesus is God, right? So, anyways, when I was 4 years old, my mom was spinning me by my feet and she dropped me on a concrete, whatever, slab. And so I got a double concussion. And when I was still on the ground, I saw the Council of Light, is what I would like to say they are, and Melchizedek was there. Of course, I was 4 years old. I didn't even know who Melchizedek was, but he told me his name, okay? So my parents were like, what? So, anyways, I came back into my body. I had kind of a bad headache for a long time. Then, a few months later, my cousin got the measles, and they said I had the measles too, but I'm not sure actually if I ever even got the measles. But they put me into quarantine because I had been around her. So I was in a dark room for what they said was 2 weeks, but I only remember like one day of being in that room. And so I was there, and Melchizedek came into my room to the end of my bed, right through the ceiling. And he's a violet light being. Like, he's amazingly beautiful, long kind of dreadlocks, like the substance isn't really there as far as he's not substantial like us, but he has this light being body. It's amazing. And so he took me into himself, okay? Then we went through the roof. We got into a spaceship that was invisible when we went out. And then it became like manifest. Then we flew around in the galaxy from one constellation to the next. And we landed at, I don't know, people will probably call it heaven, but I'm not really sure if it's complete heaven. But anyways, there's a lot of rainbows there. Jesus lives there. It's in the Orion Nebula. I'm like, really? And the beings of light, the Brotherhood of Light, they actually project light out of themselves. It's just super incredible, actually. So we get off this ship, and there's like rainbows everywhere, but there aren't really any houses or anything. So weird. But it's like mainly white and kind of like what you would think of Australia, maybe, where it's these domes that are pretty low on the ground and they're all white. And you go into the dome underground, and then they're like all carved out inside, and they had full on everything, like not the same kind of like cooking things, but they made me an apple pie so I would feel at home. And so Melchizedek is taking me to meet Jesus. I get out. I immediately smell the apple pie when we were about to go into this subterranean home. And I get down there. I'm this little kid. I really don't know anything, right? And so this girl comes out. And she was like a violet light being too. Teenager though, but more like dark. Um, Violet, like purple. So, anyways, she comes out and she gives me this purple apple pie. And I was just this little kid, and Melchizedek and Jesus are like talking about me or whatever and telling me things that, all kinds of things. But mostly it was like an infusion of energy kind of situation. So I have this pie and I drop it and I get it all over everything and it stains everything purple. So this girl tells God, Jesus, to send me home. And so they did. They brought me home. And apparently it had been about 2 weeks, but it had only been like one day for out there. And in the journey, I don't know how long. But anyway, so I get brought back to the end of my bed, and my mom comes walking in right then saying, "It's been okay, your 2 weeks are up. Here's some new bed sheets and curtains and this whole matching set and all this." And I instantly had become like telepathic and very psychic and could do all kinds of different things. And so my mom would be playing with me about all that, and I just got kind of irritated and decided not to even try and do anything anymore with it. And so I grow up. I have boys. I have another daughter. Like, I have almost three families. And so I have these two youngest daughters now, but they're 20. But when I was pregnant with my second to the youngest daughter, Jesus told me, like, I saw this whole thing happen. I had like a death experience, and there was literally a demon trying to take her from me when I was pregnant. And Jesus came in another dimension and rescued her and told me to take care of her, and that her name was Violet and that she was my responsibility. And so here I was, a single mom again, essentially homeless, living in the woods, and decided I better have this child because Jesus told me even her name. The doctor said she would be a boy, all these different things. I was just like, no, her name's Violet. Jesus told me it and everything. And so then I have her, right? And we've had kind of a hard life because I won't do any deals with people. Like, pretty, I don't know what you call it, self-supportive, whatever. Like, I don't want contracts and all these different things. So I've just been living my life, trying to do what I can with what I have, pretty much, and taking good care of my kids. So one night we're sleeping in this little trailer, and the lady who owned the trailer had all these pictures of God and Mary and Jesus from all different types of religions, right? And so we wake up in the morning, and my daughter, Violet, says, "You're not my real mom. She's my real mom." And she points to Mary. And I'm like, "Well, yeah, that's true, but okay." And then she goes, "And this is my real dad right there. That's Jesus. He's my real dad, and he's here right now." And I was like, "What?" Really? Okay, yes, you're right. And then she says, "And you came to our house and at Jesus's house, and you made a mess with this purple pie, and I told you to leave. I told them to send you home. And they sent me here for you, for my lesson." And I was like, whoa, dude. My 4-year-old daughter told me the same story that I experienced when I was 4 years old. And after that, it's really hard to not 100% believe that that actually happened. So that's the end of the story. My daughter, Violet, is now a beautiful mixed race beauty that is 21 years old and about to come onto the music field. And she's just gorgeous. So have a good day. And I want you all to have a great, great life. Okay, later.